Hello, everybody, and welcome to Belly Up Sports TV, presented by 3 Wide TV. Dom Santina here alongside David Westergreen for the ERSCA NASCAR podcast, Charigatin 135 from Rockingham Speedway. David, we saw an exciting one 2 weeks ago at Daytona to kick off the season here with the ERSCA series, and now we took a week off, come back, and we're here at Rockingham for round number 2.
This is a completely different animal than Daytona was last week. We were beating and banging high, wide, and handsome 230 miles an hour. Now we're in the very treacherous rock. I've gotten word that this thing is a handful. All the drivers very sketchy. Cars loose, cars tight, bobbles down the straightaway, very difficult to hang on to. All that horsepower going around the rock in a combination that was never actually raced. With the COT car at Rockingham. NASCAR was long gone at that point. Really should, shed some light on who's going to be a championship favorite tonight. We're going to see some guys who've maybe up front who haven't been up front before. I think this car is going to really play a big factor in mixing up the field and providing a lot of action.
Yeah, it's the one thing that Series President Johnny Thomas really does that we got to applaud him for, is he creates some of these combinations that never have been ever done before or never thought would be possible. And this is just another one here with the COT car in Rockingham. It's going to be an entertaining one for sure. These guys on the ERSCA server love to put on a show for you. A lot of great racing, and we're getting ready. Qualifying's already got done, so we're getting ready to wrap it up here and get ready to drop the green flag here just momentarily.
I think open qualifying is through, so we know who's making the race of the cars who were go or go home. Some interesting names in there too that made it in. R.C. Anderson, IndyCar driver, he's up here running for, I believe, himself in the 33 car. He'll be one to watch for tonight. Making it out of that open qualifying was Jared Rexing as well. He was one of those guys who had to race his way in and then went and won his duel and was very competitive last week up until getting wrecked. You got Hank Steinmiller, Vincent Isabella, Austin Beers, who last week was... It's a good thing he was... we were off last week. Beers would have missed the race. He's down in Daytona running short track racing with the late model team there. And a number of those other guys who were up front last week, like Jared Darling, and Christopher Worrell. So that session was rather impactful. I think there's a few guys that are not here tonight that we may end up missing out on. I'm looking for the other Darling, because Jared was one of them. I think it's Christopher the 13. I'm not seeing him anywhere. So he was up front a lot last week. Drew Eisenman was up front a lot last week. He's not in the race. So that open qualifying really knocked out a lot of names that we saw last week up front. With that, I mean, maybe we should jump on our picks here and try to sort that out before qualifying hits. We'll give Carlos the floor first. Carlos, who you got today in this race?
Oh, I got the floor. I'm gonna go a little bit out of my depth here. I'm gonna go ahead and choose Cameron Rich here for tonight.
Oh, the first Cameron Rich pick of the year. If I keep giving it to him first, he'll keep picking Cameron Rich. We may need to ban him from that or something. Who you got, Dom?
He's looking fast right now as we go through. I'm going to go out on a limb just a little bit. A guy that never actually got to victory lane last year, but was mighty close. I'm going to go Nick Indelicato.
First in practice at this point. I love it. I'll go with the IndyCar guy. I'll go with R.C. Anderson in the 33. He's definitely one to watch. He loves to save tire, but this car definitely new for him and a different beast. So I'll be interested to see if R.C. can make his way to the front and challenge some of these guys who've been running a lot. With that, we're going to start it off at my favorite racetrack on the sim, The Rock. And we'll get to a good look at some of these guys while they're qualifying for their starting spot on the grid. The Rock has two different corners, and that's what it really kind of reminds me of Darlington in that way, where that first corner, very highly banked. It's a lot sharper than 3 and 4, so you have to really get on the binders going into 1 and 2 and wrap the bottom of the racetrack, be very gentle onto the throttle coming out of 2, and then there's a wall that jumps out and it'll bite you, and I think we'll see a lot of incidents coming off of turn 2 today. 3 and 4, a lot more sweeping onto a semi-tri-oval track. It doesn't really feel like a tri-oval when you're driving it, though. And it might function like a short track, I think, with these cars that these guys are a little bit unfamiliar with. Cooper Johnson in the 14. That's another name that missed the Daytona race, but was able to qualify in the other session. Here's Tate Lytle, probably a pole favorite if I had to pick somebody. But Tate told me I wasn't allowed to pick him anymore. It's RC early in qualifying. Who's got that top spot? Let's see what Tate can do here off of 4. Second on the board, Rexing early pole. Rexing's also bounced it off the wall once, so good run there. Burrell into 3rd. He should be a championship contender this season. Garen Turner up to 8th. Mark Whitley to 7th. Those guys, I think, both still had to qualify their way into the field. Oh, Vincent Isabella, top of the board. 24.443 for Vincent. That's a monster lap. Pull up the scoreboard now. Let's watch Johnny Thomas go around. Got Kwame Smith here in the 99 as well. Cameron Rich to 5th on board. Matthew Bayou to 7th. There's Weeks, Matthew Weeks. He should also be a contender in this race, I believe. I think we'll see multiple grooves of racing, both on the in turn 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4. I think there's a top line on both, but you can see just how treacherous this track is. Weeks struggling, and he's usually a sure-handed driver, so that's a little bit of a surprise. Johnny Thomas just crossed the line and did not improve his lap. He's 24th. Nick Massey, another one of those guys who might be a pole favorite, might be one of the championship favorites.
We found out officially there after the race last week that Johnny said that had he won that Daytona race, he would have been very tempted to run the full season. As we know, he's running a partial schedule. And some of the races he won't run might jump up here in the booth with us as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we'll definitely appreciate all of the times we get to spend with Johnny there. It's always fun to have him in the booth. James Holtzer up to 4th in the 17 car. He was fast at Daytona as well. Wonder if that'll be a theme across the season. James Heater on the board in 9th place. See if he can finish up this lap and go faster. I don't believe he did. I think he's still 9th. I think that first lap is your fastest. I think the tires wear just that quickly on this COT car. I think it's very possible we could see some guys blow a right front tire in this race. You have to wear your tire all the way to 0%, but I think it's entirely possible. 135 laps in this one. And I imagine they'll need to pit for tires long before they need to pit for fuel. So yeah, Isabella will start on the pole alongside Jared Rexing, then Tate Lytle and James Holtzer, the top 4. We'll take a look at the rest of the top 10. Damian Leininger qualifying 7th. Matthew Bayuk next to him in 8th. My pick there qualified 10th. R.C. Anderson.
And Carlos's pick actually had the best qualifying spot in 6th.
There it is. Cameron Rich. Delicato down at 15th. On the next page here is Hank Steinmiller, Gerald Campbell, 11th and 12th.
Scott Crump in 16th. Thomas Sherman 17th.
Yep, Josh Clark from 21st. Jeff Green, 2000 Busch Series champion, from 23rd. Massey will start 24th. I look for him to move his way towards the front.
It's your 2020 ERSCA champion starting back there.
Yep. Moving back, Matthew Weeks there, 26th, and I'll look for him to move forward. Johnny Thomas, 27th on the grid. Jared Mogard, the Daytona winner, starting 33rd. Did Mogard even took a qualifying lap? I don't believe he did. So Josh Adams from 34th as well. Some of these guys kind of opting to play it safe and in the back, maybe not so comfortable with this car. As we continue our way back, I believe we have 43 full drivers in this field. It's going to be very crowded out there in the Rockingham corners.
Yeah, Zishan Durham will start 39th. Brandon Key will start 42nd. Marshall Stanley will bring up the rear in 43rd. A lot of guys probably going to be making their way from the back to the front here.
Yep, and we'll see. A lot of those guys did not take time. We only had 32 drivers take time. A lot of guys opting to play it safe right in the back. And for what it's worth, Vincent Isabella texted me and said, how? He isn't even sure how he's on the pole, but he is. 15 car really fast in 1 lap speed. We'll see if he can keep it up over the long run. That might be his downfall a little bit, but very impressive run for Vincent, who's making his return to ERSCA. He didn't run last year, but he was there in 2020, and I believe he made the chase, finished in the top 10 in points, and was a contender over there. So Vincent knows how to get it done here. That's absolutely right, Carlos. Vincent's a little bit confused. Nick Massey starting from pit road. That's an interesting development there. One other development you might have missed, Ryan Lutz, the 2021 ERSCA champion, is missing tonight. It's his anniversary with his girlfriend. I think he made the right choice, but definitely going to miss Lutz out here on the track. We'll see if he can root on his teammates over there at Apex Sim Racing, like Damian Leininger from 7th. I believe we're 2 to go here. I think. Well, maybe it is 1 to go. We'll see.
I think lights look like they're out on the pace car, so I think we're getting ready to go green here.
Here we go. Pace car's off. And Isabella goes immediately. Rexing spins him a little bit. They're going to crash. Dane Leininger in the wall. In a huge wreck. Leininger's already out. Man, the curse of the 12 car. The curse of the 12 car is a truly wild thing. That thing is a monster. We're going to have to take another look at that. I think these guys tire spun and whoo. What a start. Into Anderson, into Bayuk, Campbell, and then 19. That is Brad Kress, newcomer for sure, and this is absolutely tire spin on the 12 car.
I think it might be time for Damien to change his number.
Damien just said he was a half throttle in that 12, and it just jumped to the right. He's also confused, so. Oh man, RC got tons of damage. Hank gets tons of damage. Ooh, Scott Crump gets it stopped, I think.
I mean, luckily, depending on how bad the damage is, they do have 134 laps to work back, so.
I think Leininger's is probably going to be pretty terminal. RC's might be as well. There's a little bit of damage to Brad Kress. Who knows about what that damage could be. But we don't even make it 100 feet at Rockingham before our first incident of the day. Matthew Bayuk, R.C. Anderson, R. Hank Steinmiller, all victims, I think. And innocent bystanders.
Yeah, Carlos picking up on the same thing that I saw there. Don't know who it was, but right off the start, somebody dove down pit road. In turn, probably actually lucked out because they missed that whole best right after the start-finish line. But right here, 2 cars, 3 cars going down pit road right off the start.
Interesting. I can't help but wonder if that's maybe a plot to grab a little more gas. Johnny Thomas is showing as a lap down right now. Did he also start from pit road?
So I think only one car actually made it down pit road, but a couple cars were looking to go down pit road. Is that Zishan back there?
No, it's... Yeah, I think Johnny maybe. This is all still replaying, watching these guys see the wreck ahead of them and react to it. Yeah, Johnny just committed to going down pit road, and he is now a lap down. So that I don't think that went quite according to plan for Johnny. Let's see.
All right, my mic is hot. I'm explaining what's happening here. Remember, iRacing has a weird glitch at the start of a race where if a caution comes out, any driver that did not cross the start-finish line to start the race is immediately going to be essentially a lap down, and they're going to have to take a waiver out. So that's probably why Johnny is a lap down, why probably a couple drivers are going to be shown like ahead of the leader, but essentially, essentially a lap down. That we're going to get a bunch of waiver rounds. As a matter of fact,
Johnny
we're seeing that right now.
Yeah, Johnny Eckert just extended the caution period, and this is definitely a job for the officials here, and Johnny is our official who always does a really good job of policing the race, and it's definitely going to be a bit tricky for him to get this thing sorted out, but I think we'll be able to get going again, and hopefully we'll be able to keep everyone going straight, at least past the start-finish line this next time. A lot of black flags being cleared, a lot of wave rounds being enforced. A couple of more. Richard Hines also got trapped a lap down out of this. So it's probably going to be everyone from there on, yeah. So most of the top 15 or so are through, and then everyone else kind of technically was trapped. So great start to the race. But we're lining them up now. We'll see if we can go past the start-finish line this time. I'll tell you, pacing under caution is a great way to save tires. We're going to go ahead and get the field caught up here as well. So I think we're going to go one more lap, because not everyone is around the track yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're in formation either, so it's going to take a little bit. So that extra lap should get everybody ready to go.
This is a true adventure as we experiment with the COT car at places it's never been, maybe places iRacing didn't intend for it to be, as Richard Hines and Johnny Thomas are getting their wave rounds, and I think that's the reason for the extended period of caution, is so we can get everybody on the lap that they're supposed to be on. Because Johnny and Richard definitely didn't deserve to go a lap down. Leininger and Steinmiller sat on pit road to fix their damage, and they've been waived also. So I think maybe they'll both be one fewer lap down than they already are. But we're getting it sorted out. Patience, everybody have patience with us. It's a new thing for everybody. Zach Evans in the chat said 12-car wreck drink. Couldn't agree more, Zach. It's that 12 always seems to find its way into an incident.
All right, lights are out on the pace car this time, so should be getting ready to go green.
And everybody is single file behind the first, 2 rows. So those are the guys who got past the start-finish line there. And we'll just roll with it from there. Hopefully it leads to a cleaner start. Watch Isabella go again. Tate Lytle will try to bypass Rexing and get into second place.
Rexing had a bad start there. I don't know if he spun the tires a little bit or not. Definitely not a good start for the top line there. And here comes Lytle to the inside. Rexing gets a run out of the corner, though, and now Tate's going to be under attack.
That definitely afforded the whole field a much cleaner start with them not being side by side, and it allowed us to get a full lap of green flag racing led by Vincent Isabella, the pole sitter. We'll see if he's got that long run pace, but you know, for at least the single lap and for the time being, he's able to hold station out front.
Well, we're working on lap number 9. We never completed an actual lap, so we had 8 caution laps there to get everything sorted out through all of that. We get back to green flag racing here.
Yep, the field is good. Looks really clean here. Vincent just pounded it off the wall. A little bit of a Bristol style bump to the wall there, but everything's good. He needs to probably run it a little bit lower than he's running it right now in turns 1 and 2. That'll he will be sliding the right front tire and it'll burn right off of this caught car. Holtzer into third, Rich into fourth. Both of them drove around Tate Lytle. Wonder if Tate's maybe trying to save tire a little bit.
Two-car breakaway up front. Rexing looking under Isabella here. Not quite there, close enough to do anything yet. He'll slot back about 3 car lengths out, and Isabella will pull way down the front stretch.
Yep. Rexing definitely giving Vincent a little bit of pressure, but not enough to really warrant either of them overdriving their car to try to protect the position. Right now, I think everyone's kind of cruising, trying to get a feel for what this car is going to do as the tires age. And I envision it'll just get more slippery, more slidey, and a little even more difficult to drive as it goes here. It's just a matter of preventing your car from being the worst driving one over a long run. Garen Turner running up here in 8th place. That's a really good run for Turner, who was kind of involved in everything last week at Daytona. So was Mark Whitley. Both of them, I think, had a number of incidents. Oh, Whitley sideways off the corner, and he will save it, but that'll open up the bottom for Nick and Delicato.
A couple other cars on the move already. Cameron Rich up 2 spots. He's got around Tate Lytle. And Ethan Burrell looking to do the same, trying to work around Lytle here on the top side. He's took a couple looks to the inside, but Lytle holding down that 5th position right now.
Here comes an Apex Sim Racing car in Dylan Thomas going after Kwame Scott. Dylan's one of those guys I think is going to really come off and have some really good runs this season in this car. The tire saving and such is definitely going to be up his alley. And I think Vincent might have gotten the wall again. Rexing's challenging for the lead. Vincent's hanging on to it. Just barely. Also a battle for 5th. A lot of action.
Yeah, Burrell just got around Lytle, was able to clear him that time down the back stretch, and here they down the front stretch, and here they go down the back stretch this time. Clearly into the 5th spot goes Burrell. Lytle will lose another spot here as he's lost 3 just off the opening few laps here. And as David said, might be tire saving strategy, or a car might be just falling back a little bit.
James Heater there right behind them, putting a little pressure on Tate Lytle for that 6th position. And I keep thinking back to the pre-race, the preseason show that we had with Johnny and Emily and Mike from Belly Up Sports, and they said James Heater was maybe the guy to watch out for this season. That was Johnny's pick, and that kind of stuck with me because we've seen Heater be pretty fast, but he got involved in some wrecks at Daytona, and then this race today, middle of the top 10, looks like that car is very smooth, and the beautiful paint job seems to be working its way forward right now. It seems like Garen Turner holding up Gerald Campbell just a little bit.
Yeah, and then in turns got a couple cars stacked in behind him as well. Mark Whitley, Nick and Delicato, Kwame Scott just off their tail just a little bit, all kind of stacked up behind Turner here.
Looking through the field, and there's a lot of battles going on. Guys are able to get to the bumper of other cars around them. It's all about the way you drive these corners as opposed to maybe just like the same rhythm from everyone. You see Scott goes around Indelicato. Campbell really trying to defend against Whitley while attacking Turner. I'm definitely impressed now that we've been able to get going green that these guys have been able to put on a really good show and have been able to run side by side really well. Various battles on track. Joe gets back into Joe Francis area. On the bottom of the screen, Brandon Key in the 21 car all together. It's back where Johnny Thomas is running as well in the 83. Top of the screen, Joe Campbell still going after Garrett Turner for that third spot. Turner just able to run that top lane and hold his own against Campbell and against Whitley. Seems like the top maybe dominating that bottom lane. You bog down too much. The tires maybe unable to rip the bottom when you and get off the corner once they get a little bit of wear on them. So Whitley's trying to go high against Campbell here, pick up that 9th position. Ooh, Campbell tight in the center of the corner. Whitley will get 9th. And Delicato might get through to 10th. Good battle here at the back end of the top 10. Joe Campbell's car looks like it might be at a big tire disadvantage right now. Ooh, Turner almost got into the wall. Here comes Whitley. Whitley has to check up, exiting the corner. Great battle here for 9th and then for 11th, respectively.
Got a slow car here coming up to our leaders. Isabella going to work to the high side. Rexing working to the inside.
Yep, Rexing caught Vincent a lot when Vincent got kind of stuck in behind Hank Steinmiller's damage number 63. And Vincent bounced it off the fence. Here comes Rexing. Going to be a drag race to the line, but Vincent has that preferred outside lane. He will get the lap led. He's going to hold off Jared Rexing. Isabella's been in the wall a couple times, but it's not slowing down that 15 car any. Another car pulling off to the bottom, Richard Hines.
It's letting the rest of the field catch up here. Here comes James Holtzer, Cameron Rich about to join the battle, and he's pulling along Ethan Burrell and Tate Lytle as well.
Holtzer's car looks pretty fast right now, looks pretty sporty. Rich running that bottom lane. Second in points last year, remember, and also Carlos's pick to win this race. Holtzer's going to get second away from Rexing and now go to the bottom. What a move by Holtzer. 17 cars got more tire than Vincent Isabella at this point. First lead change of the day.
Cameron Rich challenging for the third spot here on Rexing. Good battle side by side here for the lead, side by side for third and fourth.
Rich definitely saved tire. Maybe Rexing and Vincent battling a little too much. Ooh, Rexing at the apron. He's going to lose that spot to Burrell. Those two battling a little bit, that might have created a situation where their tires are now much, much worse than this group behind them who chose to ride the first 25 laps or so.
These three Toyotas, the Rich and Burrell moved up a little bit, but then they kind of settled in right there in front of Tate Lytle. Now the three of them working together to charge through the pack here.
Yeah,
Rich looking to the inside of Isabella here for second.
Yeah, and Vincent's doing, you know, everything in his power to hold these guys back, but the tire model in this COT car, if you have older tires, if you burn your tires a little bit too much, as Vincent hits the wall again, and gets a little bit of damage this time, if you get to that point where Vincent is right now, you're just going to go straight backwards. There's almost nothing you can do. He's going to throw it in here on Cameron Rich, though, and yellow flag's out. I was going to say, Vincent's going to start going backwards, I think, pretty heftily, because that car's just going to continue to get tighter and tighter. But now he'll get to come strap on 4 fresh tires and see if he can just keep on going from 3rd place. Disappointing for James Holtzer, though. He had worked out to a 9/10 of a second lead before that caution. So 17 car was really coming on strong there around 30 laps into the run.
I was gonna say, David, pit stops coming here for most of the guys.
Everyone's coming to pit. The way this track eats these tires and this tire model, the older tire model of the COT car, you'll be a sitting duck if you don't come to pit road. Just trying to look and see how many tire sets these guys get. They get 5 sets of tires, so
5 times 30 would do it. That would
Yep.
get you to the end.
Yep, this is definitely a situation where everybody's going to come down pit road. The only guy who has got a fixed damage up here in the top group is the guy who led 25 of the laps. So that's fairly interesting. And the pole sitter in Isabella. I wonder if he'll even take that damage or if he'll just keep on going. It seems like these COT cars are very durable. We saw R.C. Anderson up in 13th before that caution. And after pit stops, we'll probably try to figure out what that caution was. I think it was Jeff Green in the 38 car. Might have been involved with Josh Adams, which would be the second wreck Adams was involved in tonight. That's definitely a frustrating night for him. Holtzer first down, and he'll be first off pit road. Then, Isabella might have beat Rich. Henderson didn't even fix that damage. 33 car must be fine. I'm willing to bet these big COT cars are just they're not even losing speed. Here it is. Austin Beers spins the 33 down the back, sliding up. And Adams nowhere to go. Same for Josh Robin. Look at that one. Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that Jeff Green?
Yeah, Green gets spun by Austin Beers. So, having the little bit I have watched of the in-car view of people driving this thing is when you turn your wheel at all on the back straightaway, the car corrects itself. Like, you have to overcorrect it really quick. Nowhere to go for Adams. The car tends to veer once you turn the wheel a little bit on the back straightaway. And it looked to me like Beers just turned the wheel a little bit too much when he tried to cut underneath Green down the back. Definitely a mistake, but not an intentional one, I think, because you see his car start heading towards the wall. It's only stopped by the 38 car above him. And then Adams just absolutely nowhere to go. Robin absolutely nowhere to go. Green is retired. Richard Hines has retired, and Adams, I believe, is on pit road repairing damage. So tough night for those guys. Damian Leininger stayed out, by the way, to get another lap back. That might be a bit risky with the older tires, but we'll see where that 12 car ends up at the end of the night. It'll be Holtzer, Isabella, Rich and Rexing, Burrell and Lytle coming back to the green. The guy who started from pit road, by the way, Nick Massey, 19th. See him back there in that Lowe's car on the bottom lane. They go again. Holtzer with a huge jump over Isabella. 17 car got the lead, and he just shoots out Vincent's going to be second. Looks like Cooper Johnson maybe got into the wall a little bit from 15th in the 14 car. We'll have to take a look at the replay later. Meanwhile, Cameron Rich trying to bypass Rexing for third.
Yeah, now that they have almost 40 laps here into the race, it'll be interesting to see how aggressive they are off the start here. Who continues to save tires? Maybe some guys that went out aggressive in the first run decide to save a little bit more, vice versa here, and see what happens as we look at another replay.
Kwame Scott got loose there entering turn 1, and then Cooper also gets loose. He hit the apron in the 14 car. I think he's going to impact the inside wall a little bit too. And a tough break for Cooper Johnson. He had made it all the way up to 15th. Back in 37th now, so all that ground made up, all for naught. Isabella just hit the wall again. Not seeming to slow down that 15 car any. But it seems like these guys who are able to run the bottom early in the run, those are the cars that are going to be the fastest later in the run. Isabella's able to hold his own for now, but in 20 to 25 laps, that 15 car is going to be screaming for help. It's interesting to me, though, because Jared Rexing ran the bottom pretty much that whole run, just kind of watching Vincent run the top lane. Then he was kind of equally out of tires along with Vincent there at the end of the run when those guys kind of came up and passed them. Adams back down pit road in the 95, so his bad luck this first 2 races continues for Josh Adams. Yeah, and you don't want to dig yourself too deep of a hole, because what will happen is the point standings will start to lock people into the race based on your points position for this season. Right now it's by last season, Adams is locked in, but after 5 races, it'll go to this season. You don't want to be too far down when it comes to that. Vincent Isabella challenging to the bottom for the lead on Holtzer. Trying to get that 15 car to wrap the bottom. Not able to get it done, and Adams retires from the race. Holtzer not able to drive away like he did on the older tires. So for now, that 17 car able to run in the lead, but not able to pull away like he did earlier. Battle back here for 9th place. Mark Whitley around Ethan Burrell, and Burrell challenging back. I wonder if Burrell had a bit of a slow pit stop. Also a challenge for the lead. Isabella down to the bottom, trying to get the 17, but he won't be able to get it done. That outside line just too powerful, but he is making Holtzer use up the tires a little bit more. Damage not really affecting that 33 of R.C. Anderson. He's up in 11th place. It's good to see from my pick. Tate Lytle trying to challenge Rexing for that 4th position. In this run, Tate has not fallen back at all. At 56, maybe driving it a little bit more aggressively. Right behind him, Garen Turner, that 20 car. We saw him kind of impressively hold off Gerald Campbell earlier. Kind of Jamie McMurray, Irwin Tools throwback car. Tires are starting to catch up to Vincent Isabella, I think.
Yeah, Cameron Rich all over the back of him here once again. Going to work to the inside, try to take that 2nd spot away.
The top lane is just so strong, though. You get so much momentum coming down the hill out of turn 2. Not nearly as strong in 3 and 4, and Rich does clear the 15 of Isabella. So move Cameron Rich into 2nd.
Rexing gonna try to look under Isabella now. Slides up, almost hit the wall and almost got into Tate Lytle.
Yeah, Rexing and Lytle, that was just about a wreck. Garrett Turner might lose a spot because of it. He got out of the gas down the back straightaway to avoid those guys, and Heater got a run on him. It's like Heater's going to give him that spot back. And then here's Dom's pick in 8th, Nick Indelicato. The 01 Dodge for Shift Esports, running for the Mohawk Foundation. Those guys have a really good sponsor. They're all running pink cars. Mohawk Foundation's really good. You should definitely check them out and follow those guys. We don't have Seth Rawls. I don't think we have Dallas Minehan tonight either. We had Bayuk, and he's been damaged. So it's pretty much down to Indelicato.
Yeah, I saw him sneaking into the picture there. I just hadn't got the nerve to say anything yet, but here he comes, and a couple guys have got around Isabella now. Lytle's around him. Rexing has got around him, and now it's gone to Gary and Turner, and Delicato would be the next two to go around him.
Yeah, Vincent's car just does not seem to like the tires once you get into 10 to 15 laps into the run. That 15 car just seems to get really tight, and every time he bounces it off the wall, it's getting worse and worse. Battle now is right behind him, though, as Indelicato tries to take over that 6th spot from Turner before setting his sights on Isabella. Ooh! Oh, one car got a little bit loose exiting the corner. No harm, no foul, though. Back through the field, Matthew Weeks, Nick Massey, 17th and 18th. Ooh, man, Indelicato and Isabella almost wrecked on the back straightaway. That makes Indelicato lose the time he gained on Garen Turner.
Field going around, Leininger there as he makes his way. One lap down, car pretty dinged up, but trying to turn some laps here.
This is going to be a wreck. Oh, man, it's not. Indelicato got underneath Isabella. Very aggressive move by the 01. Vincent's car is just not handling the way it was at the beginning of the race. I think the damage is starting to really affect the way he's able to drive that car into the corner. You see how stacked up the field has gotten behind him. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for Isabella. He's doing what he should do, which is, run the car as hard as you can, but his ability to run it hard is kind of diminishing with the damage on that car. It's starting to get a little bit hazardous, and there goes Vincent. He got loose down the back straightaway. He's going to hit the inside wall. That might not bring out a caution, but it does ruin the day of the points leader. He was very out of control for a lot of that run. It seemed like just very difficult to drive that thing with the damage that he had sustained from kind of bouncing it off the wall. And he tows the 15 car out of the pole, so tough break for Vincent Isabella. Second wreck he's been involved in this season. Really interesting. The way this back straightaway tends to work is the caution does come out. Oh, Daytona 500 winner Jared Mogard around down in turn 3, and it looks maybe like a kind of mirror incident that we've seen already between Jeff Green and then Vincent Isabella. Let's take a look. That car is brutally damaged. And Mogard, yeah, it is going to be another one of these incidents on the back straightaway. Matthew Weeks is going to get a bunch of damage. Might be it, though. Jerry Campbell, incredibly lucky.
Yeah, that car just took a right-hand hook right into the wall.
Here's pit stops. Hit them real quick. Seems like the problem area on the track is that back straightaway. Driving straight, kind of difficult with all this horsepower. Who would have thought? Holtzer had to back up. That might cost him the lead. He had to back up again. We are getting word that a couple of cars stayed on the stayed on the racetrack. Robin is a lapped car. Here's the race leader now. It's going to be Dylan Thomas, then Rich, then Rexing, then Lytle, then Indelicato. Holtzer loses a ton of time.
Burrell's going to sneak in there as well in front of him, too. So
My goodness, a horrible pit stop for James Holtzer results in him losing a bunch of ground. Meanwhile, 06, that is Chris Worrell. Massey's going to come down pit road now, so is Kwame Scott. No, they actually stay out too, so I guess they're running this strategy. Worrell, Massey, Scott, Johnny Thomas have all stayed on the racetrack. I wonder if Matthew Weeks' car is badly damaged in that. But the Daytona winner not going to repeat as the victor. On board with him, just out of control down the back straightaway, and it ends up hooking right into the wall. Hit by Weeks. Yeah.
Burrell was actually right behind that. He was the next car in line. He's actually battling with there. They made some contact, and then Mogart goes into the wall, and now Worrell is your race leader.
Worrell and Massey were both right there. Neither of them, it seems like, got too much damage. Interesting. Dylan Thomas is all the way back in the back of the field now, so I wonder if he was speeding on pit road in the 03, or maybe he missed his pit stall. Either way, Dylan Thomas now to the back, and that will turn over the best track position with tires to Cameron Rich in the 47 car. Here's one to green. Now, last couple of restarts have been okay. I just think back to that start. Leininger's car cooked to the right on the cold tires. They've got these guys with the worn tires up front. This could be a very risky restart. With only 5 sets of tires, I wonder if the idea for these guys is not to gain the track position. They're probably planning to give it away. Maybe it's to save that set of tires so they can come in and get it later in the race. Pace car's heading down pit road now. Worrell gets a pretty good jump. We'll see what Cameron Rich, Tate Lytle can do. With the fresh tires. Thomas dropping quickly through the field. Burrell leads a lap under green. I'm interested as Rich works underneath Massey. If you could lead 2 laps, staying out with like a 2 laps to go caution might be the ideal strategy to win the race. Would Rich get Worrell? He would, but Burrell would have finished second if we had a 2 lap to go restart right there. So interesting move. Yeah, interesting move there. Might get some track position later on. We might see this again based on the good results so far, at least for the first 2 laps. It's probably going to go badly for Chris Worrell, Johnny Thomas, Kwame Scott, Nick Massey over this run. But if they get a caution here before they go a lap down, they'll be all right. And as always, you don't want to be the caution. Holtzer and Burrell side by side. That is a battle among very fast cars. Mark Anderson squeezed up in front of Mark Whitley right there. That was almost a wreck. All this is Chris Worrell trying to just stay on the high side and get out of the way. I'm impressed by R.C. Anderson and Matthew Bayuk. Those damaged cars from that first lap wreck seem to be holding strong. Anderson's going to make it into the top 10 with that pass of Burrell.
closing in on the halfway point here in this one. Next time by, I think we'll actually be about the halfway point. So making our way through this one.
Cameron Rich finally got that track position. Looks like there's a little bit of right front damage on that 47 car. It doesn't seem to be affecting it at all. He's definitely one of the faster cars on track, but you don't want to get that thing too badly damaged, as we saw with the 15 of Isabella. If you hit it too many times, it quits turning, and then it's all over. Battle for fourth. Burrell underneath in Delicato. 01 fights back on the top. All this right in front of James Holtzer, who had a terrible pit stop, overshot his pit box from the lead, so he'll have to work his way back there. He dives underneath Ethan Burrell down the back straightaway.
It's really the best battle throughout the top 10 here. No one else really battling for any positions. Couple of cars running close together, but nobody really taking too much of a peek inside of each other.
Except for Holtzer and Burrell. This is the second time they're trying to swap positions in the last 10 laps or so. All this while Cameron Rich drives away from Tate Lytle. He's had opened it up to 0.6 of a second. Holtzer Burrell battle just refuses to go away. Now Holtzer clears Burrell, move him in back into fifth as he tries to overcome that mistake on pit road. He's got half the race to do it. And early in the race is definitely when you want to make that mistake if you're going to make it. Quick update on our guys who stayed out on racetrack. Johnny Thomas is 14 seconds back in 34th. He is still on the lead lap, but that car is not happy with those old tires. It's safe to say. So we'll see. If Johnny goes the lap down, then that strategy did not pay off.
And Whirl is in the 22nd position, about to get past here in just a second for 23rd as well. So
yeah, those guys falling back drastically. So this run going long at all definitely does not work in their favor. That's Hank Steinmiller that I believe Cameron Rich is coming up on in the 63 car.
are definitely in some rough shape there for Steinmiller.
Yep, tough break. It took him one lap to get decimated like that and sent that far off the pace. Holtzer's gone around in Delicato. Now Burrell trying to do the same. It's for fourth, and Burrell trying to take fifth from Indelicato. He might get it on the top side. Garen Turner next in line, trying to go after Indelicato up top. I think that top lane is really coming in to be the preferred lane in a battle. I think you can pass on the bottom, and you can't do that. Garen Turner bounces it off the wall and gives up that seventh spot to Mark Whitley. You can't do that, but if you can run it nice and close to the wall, then that's the way to go in terms of defending your position. But the cars that can wrap the bottom and stay quick, those seem to be the ones that are the fastest on the track. Holtzer's been one of the best at that. Cameron Rich has been one of the best at that today. And that explains his 9/10 of a second lead now. Single file up throughout the top 10 here. These guys have really gotten into rhythm.
Another good green flag stretch here.
Yep, long green run, and it's not what Johnny Thomas and Chris Burrell wanted to see. Those guys, Nick Massey, those guys really hurting now as the battle now is going to be for third. Rexing goes around Tate Lytle. Now Holtzer going after Lytle.
Here comes Burrell as well.
You know, so Tate Lytle falling back a little bit. He might have gotten the fence there. I'm not sure who we're following, but they're lagging in and out.
Holtzer. It's Holtzer.
It's Holtzer. Holtzer lagging in and out quite a bit. Might get a warning from race control if that continues to happen. Looks like the 17's back in there for now. He's going to go after Rexing for second. So James Holtzer really stout here today. Is Burrell going to clear Tate Lytle? You're right there. Yep. 37 is clear of Lytle.
Delicato just got by him as well.
Tate Lytle falling back after that third place finish last week at Daytona with a very beat up race car.
That car, the tires have to be falling off that car because here comes Whitley around him as well. He's about to lose 4 positions in a lap and a half.
Yep. It just goes to show how very quickly things can fall apart if you don't take care of your equipment. Tate is really, really good at maintaining his speed over a long run, but maybe he, like Johnny Thomas, like Kwame Scott, Nick Massey, like Chris Burrell, wasn't anticipating a long green flag run right here. Battle up for second as Holtzer and Rexing have been really close to bouncing it off the fence a couple of times. But here they come, and this is just going to let Cameron Rich continue to pull out ahead. Though Holtzer seems to be the fastest car, it's just a matter of whether or not he can get around Rexing and hunt down Cameron Rich without burning up his tires in the, like Tate Lytle did. Might be too close to the wall for Jared Rexing.
Holtzer's run's kind of stalled out here a little bit, though. He's got to Rexing, just hasn't been able to close in and really put a hard attempt in for a pass.
Rexing's been right there all day. Let's not undersell how good the 07 car has been today. The Nesquik Dodge has been really solid. Started second, run second, been there all day long. Just a brilliant performance there. Rexing's clearly put in the time. But I think Holtzer's going to get him here. He went to the outside. Now he's going to sneak around him up top. So 17 James Holtzer. Oh, he bounced it off the fence. Oh, man. Almost took out Jared Rexing right after I talked about him. And definitely got some damage now on that 17 car.
Not only that, and there it is, Johnny Thomas going a lap down, but that allowed Burrell and Indelicato to close in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. And poor Johnny, that run did not work out in his favor. He is currently the lucky dog car, but with Kwame Scott up there among the other guys who didn't take tires, certainly going to be more guys going a lap down soon. Holtzer to second now, 1.5 seconds behind Cameron Rich. Narrowed it down, though. He definitely cut into the lead that lap, now that he had some clean track. Because now it's 1.4. Burrell to third, Rexing and Indelicato side by side for fourth. Give it to Nick Indelicato. Let's see if Holtzer pulls closer on this lap to Rich. Nope, lost a little bit more time. It's Cameron Rich still, I think, right now the fastest car on track. Trying to see if Holtzer can maybe run him down.
But it's been going back and forth between Rich and Holtzer. 3 out of the last 5 laps, Holtzer had been able to close in. You look now, this time we wait for Holtzer to close in, and he lost some time again there, about 0.3 of a second to
Burrell,
Rich.
Burrell and Delicato were both faster than Holtzer that time through. Now that they've finally passed Rexing, but now they're going to go after each other, and that may let Holtzer squirt away a little bit. On board with Cameron Rich, and trying to look back through to see that deficit there that he's built for the rest of the field. Very strong performance today from Cameron Rich, though. I mean, he drove straight to the front, took the lead, and he has pulled away since he's gotten it.
The way we're going here, David, I mean, we're looking at 30 laps. Well, first caution came, or well, realistically, second caution came out about 30 to 33 laps in. It's getting close to that time here, but you almost got to be setting up for the last run to the finish here, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so. And I think we might be seeing that caution relatively soon. We just saw Delicato about clobber into Kyle Hanshaw, who was trying to get out of the way. You know, we've seen some of these guys with older tires really start to struggle. It's a matter of time, I think, before somebody loses the handle of this COT car. They've done an amazing job today, though, man. I'll tell you what. Holtzer just into the wall. Is it going to be a wreck? I don't think so. Holtzer hung on to it. That was that was an identical clip, it looked like, to Jared Mogard. It's just that Holtzer was able to keep it straight. Or Heater, yeah. Holtzer's up in second. A couple of James H's.
Hey, let me tell you, Holtzer's closing on Rich. Rich is having to navigate some lap traffic here. He chipped away 0.2 of a second 2 laps ago and almost 3/10. So he's closed in within half a second here in the last 2 laps. We'll see what it is this time.
Michael Goodman a lap down. Harrison Talon the next up. And that's a lot of damage on Talon's car. Caution is out. And Brandon Key, the one that we're getting word is involved. Definitely a lot of damage on that 21 car. Looks like Key is going to be the victim of the back straightaway once again. I think the same problem that befell Mogard and Beers for those other cautions, just as we were kind of talking about it. Just that when those tires get old, that back straightaway gets tough to navigate. It was a single car wreck, though. Just Brandon Key. So we'll get a replay for you after the pit stops, and they should be. No, they're going to be next lap. Rich is already. Well, I don't know. I guess they're catching it in here in 3 and 4, so maybe it is this lap. They're coming this time, I think. And I think, judging by what happened to Johnny Thomas, everyone will be on pit road. And the intensity is going to ramp up. Quick shout out as we get on pit road. Scott Crump had driven all the way up into the top 10 and was running 8th at the time of caution. Holtzer into his stall much better this time. I didn't see anyone having to back it up. Holtzer's going to win the race off pit road. What a difference that first pit stop makes to this one. James Holtzer wins the race off pit road. This time, after losing several spots last time and failing to get the lead back under green last time through. Burrell off 3rd, Rexing off 4th. And Whitley off 5th. Here's the replay of that incident on the back straightaway. And it's going to look a lot like the other incidents. Brandon Key turns sideways on the back. Into the wall. Spins. This one's a solo car incident. Yeah, just these COT cars just jump. It almost look just like Damien's. It almost looked like Damien's, where that car just hung a right. By the way, Nick Massey, Chris Burrell, Kwame Scott, they pit 26th, 27th, 28th after not pitting last time through. And we saw no one else make that same mistake. All these cars in front are laps down.
It's going to be interesting here. Holtzer had been a dominant car all day. And he was coming to the front there before that caution came out. Now that he's got the track position, can anyone run him down?
It's a big question mark. And the other thing I think here is we have run very, very clean, I think all things considered, for 100 laps. There are now 35 laps to go. I think these guys are going to start ramping it up. There's, you're probably not going to need to save tires the rest of the way. I think we're going to start getting a few caution flags from guys, over pushing it. These guys are going to be going really hard. So anybody who was tire saving, I think that might be out the window. We're going to see everything these guys got for the next 35 laps.
So Holtzer choosing the outside line here for the restart.
Yeah, we've seen Holtzer get the biggest jump of anybody, I think, so far. So if I'm in Delicato, I want to be right up on the rear bumper of Holtzer and trying to get alongside Cameron Rich into turn one. Holtzer goes really early again. Rich spins the tires a little bit. And Delicato was not able to capitalize. He will get by Ethan Burrell, though, and Delicato to third. Whitley to fifth. Jared Rexing to sixth. Cameron Rich falls in second behind Holtzer, and he'll get to the back bumper of the 17. Rich to the outside, going for the lead.
And David, do you go for it right now and believe there's going to be another caution, or do you think saving tires might not be a bad thing here?
Well, Cameron Rich ain't saving anything, man. He just went shooting to the lead, down the back straightaway. What a move by Cameron Rich, just in a power move, and Holtzer kind of taken aback, I think. Mark Whitley just pounded the wall. Whitley's around. Caution's out. And I think that answers your question, Tom. Yes, you go for it. Oh, I am not pitting here. Now, if I'm Nick Massey and I have an extra set of tires, I might think about coming down there. Was that a single car incident, though? How did Mark Whitley not hit anybody there? This is Rexing, and that's it. Everybody's through. Amazing. Frustrating, though, for Mark Whitley for sure. Running fifth. Had a great run going in that 77 car. Just came up on him off the corner. Tight off the corner. Bounced it off the wall. Nothing you can do. But this race is not over. Whitley can definitely get back out there, I think. I don't think that's going to be terminal damage on the 77 car. He is still running on the lead lap. I believe... Ooh, Holtzer? No, faked us out. Faked me out. I believe Johnny Thomas gets the lucky dog. And we'll get back in the lead lap with that caution right there. And now... And he can finally get some tires. So some of the cars that do come to pit road, Brandon Key, he has a bunch of damage. 25 Marshall Stanley's on pit road. Zishan, no. I think everybody else is good. I think it was only just a couple of cars heading down pit road. And you'll see him flash by here on the top side. The league owner who may have made a bit of a mistake on that last couple of restarts ago by not taking tires. He'll get back in the lead lap here and maybe have a chance to pick up a decent finish. There he goes. But Matt, that was so Cameron Rich with that move there on Holtzer. I wonder if Holtzer doesn't try to get in the draft of Rich and go back after him here on this next restart. Let's throw it to commercial here while we have an opportunity for 3 Wide TV and Belly Up Sports TV. You're watching the NASCAR podcast Charigatin 135.
You want to be the best. You can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Getting ready to go back. Green Flag Racing here for the NASCAR podcast Charigatin 135 on Belly Up Sports TV. And brought to us by 3 Wide TV and Carlos Acosta, our producer, doing a great job as well back in the booth. Lights out on the iRacing pace car. It's going to be Cameron Rich and James Holtzer leading us to the green flag once again. Same positions this time, just Rich gets the restart.
Yep, and Rich is going to jump out to a pretty big lead here, I think. We've seen the leader have that strong restart capability. Seems like everyone reacting tends to spin their tires. Pretty good one for Holtzer, though. He definitely didn't let Rich get too far ahead.
I think he might have had to burp the throttle just a little bit there to make sure he didn't spin him, but he held with him better than anyone else has all day.
Delicato came off the corner and bobbled, and Ethan Burrell was already sticking his nose to the outside of the 0-1. Big battle for second. Holtzer does clear in Delicato. Burrell now going for third.
Well, David, you said it in our commercial break. You said you feel
wall.
like it's go time, and here we go.
It is go time. Here comes James Holtzer. He's going for the same move Rich put on him. That might be the mistake, though. Rich has that top lane. He might be able to hold him back. Will it open the door for Ethan Burrell?
Inside 30 to go now, down to 27 to go.
This is a 3-car race. Ethan Burrell is right there in the 37 car. He won several races last season. So did Cameron Rich. James Holtzer, a newcomer to the ERSCA series. Now, Ethan Burrell to the top of the racetrack. He'll get outside of Holtzer. It's not save time. It is go time for sure. These guys are clicking off very quick laps. Burrell's going to have that preferred line down the back straightaway. Man, that outside lane just really strong. But Rich's car doesn't seem to like it. I think when Rich can run the bottom by himself, he's a lot faster. Burrell's taking a look for the lead. No, he backed out of it. He is through clean to second. And now it's Rich, Burrell, Holtzer. And this battle is not over yet. Oh, Holtzer hit the wall. Yep. He's all right. I didn't hurt it.
Burrell all over the back of Rich here.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Man, great battle here late in this race. These guys really showing off today. Cameron Rich driving a great race from the lead here, trying to protect without giving up too much time. He's allowing Ethan Burrell to challenge to the bottom. The question is, ooh, yep, there it is. Was Rich able to hold him back? But he sure was. Got loose off the corner, though. Here comes Burrell.
He'll try it again. He'll dive it in there, 3 and 4. He got loose.
I don't usually see Ethan Burrell drive. I don't usually see Ethan Burrell overdrive the car this much, man. He is really overdriving it. Burrell wants this victory.
Here comes Holtzer back into the mix of things. He's going to take a peek underneath Burrell. Not close enough to do anything, but just poking his nose in there.
What a move! What a run for the 37 car! Got to the outside of Cameron Rich. Oh my goodness! Burrell with a power move. He'll try to take the lead. He'll get it. My goodness, what a move by Ethan Burrell.
There he goes. Here comes Holtzer, going to go with him too.
Wow. It was just one mistake by Cameron Rich. Entered turn 3 just a little bit too low. And Burrell got a huge run to the outside and just blew Rich's doors off down the front straightaway. Now can Cameron Rich come back? I think this race is absolutely not over yet.
Delicato looking at Rich now to take the 3rd spot away. Battle for the lead, though. I feel like it's going to heat up here for a second. Here comes Holtzer to the inside of Burrell.
Absolutely. Holtzer, though, running that bottom lane. Burrell, that kind of preferred top. We saw how long Vincent Isabella was able to hold the lead early in the race. Now Ethan Burrell using that as the lane of choice. He'll absolutely try to defend from up there and keep the momentum down the straightaways.
One car that we've not talked about at all really tonight. I think we might have briefly mentioned him once or twice, but now looking to charge into the top 5. Scott Crump on the inside of Rexing here, looking for that 5th position.
Yeah, Crump did a great job quietly moving up there. I called him out during the pit stop. He avoided Mark Whitley in the wreck, and now he's charging forward, trying to grab a top 5 finish. Be a great way to start off your championship bid. And Delicato's going to clear Cameron Rich for 3rd. I wonder if Rich just overdrove it trying to defend from Burrell. Lost the tires out on that 47 car.
Rexing going to the outside now, and he's going to get by him as well for the 4th position.
Man, you don't see Cameron Rich make mistakes like this.
Rexing in the wall.
Oh, Jared Rexing bounces it off the fence. He will lose a couple of positions. Rich, maybe Crump. No, just Rich, looks like. And the battle for the lead starting to heat up once again here with 18 coming to 17 to go. Holtzer stalking Ethan Burrell. And don't count Nick and Delicato out of this one yet. He's still right there with a very fast 0-1 car. The Toyota holding the Dodges at bay for now. Well, choosing the bottom there, and I don't know. The top got you this far. I think I'd probably commit to the top the rest of the way. Cameron Rich kind of did the same thing, kind of fluctuated between the lanes. And it cost him the lead, dropped him back to 4th. Rexing recovered. He's back into 4th now.
Oh, Cameron Rich. Scott Crump just got into the corner of him. They're going to wreck.
Oh, they're going to wreck
in the
big.
wall hard.
Henderson in it. Lytle in it. And Crump starts driving straight, and it's a 4-car wreck. Man, keep thinking we're going to have like a 20-car pileup with these big breaks on the COT. Nope. And now I believe is when we'll start to see that pit strategy come into play. Scott Crump drove a clean race all night. We talked about it. He had just kind of snuck his way into this battle. I think he got just a little bit over aggressive, maybe. No. It was one of, I don't know. We're going to need another look at that one. Challenging inside of Rich. Just drifted into the left rear corner, and then they went down into the next corner. And yeah, I don't think that's on either driver in that case. Crump got into him. They kind of save it, and then they both go down into the corner, not knowing what was up. All right, here we go.
I think Crump went up there to try to tuck in behind Rich and just wasn't quite clear yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll look at it again.
For sure. Here we go, though. This is maybe the final time on pit road for all of these drivers. Take a look and see if anybody stayed out. I don't think anybody did, so it's going to be a matter of who takes 2 tires. Does anybody try that? I don't know that I would. There's a lot of time left in this race, so 4 is probably the call. We saw how badly that worked out for some of those guys.
Oh,
Holtzer and
race
Burrell.
off.
Holtzer, another really good pit stop after that one bad one, and Rexing a really, really slow stop. I think maybe the damage on that 07 car starting to affect the way that thing was driving. Rexing's the big loser on pit road. So let's take a look at this again. Right there, that was that contact. They had saved it. They were good. I think Rich was just out of control at that point going into the corner. He was just hoping that Crump wasn't still down there. It is. Yeah, that little 33 car, because it is now 4th for RC Anderson. My pick, and he just keeps on ticking. He's been smashed into a couple of times tonight, and doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to bother the IndyCar driver there, RC Anderson.
Probably prefer to have those fenders off.
What's great about iRacing is that damage would have been race ending in any normal car or anything else. As we watch these guys try to get slowed down for the wreck, looks like Cooper Johnson slid to the apron. He did loop it, but that's no harm, no foul right there. That's all good. I think the beauty of iRacing is that if you damage the cars on the roof, they don't tend to get damaged on this simulation. So RC Anderson very fortunate to not have a lot more damage than he does. Taking a look back through the field now, Scott Crump's going to be 9th. I don't think he tried to fix any of that damage in the 51 car. Matthew Bayuk has recovered to 11th. Kwame Scott is back up to 12th after getting all that time loss with the old tires. Burrell is 15th now. Massey 17th. Mark Whitley's back up to 20th after causing one of these incidents. So the recovery, the attrition drive, definitely going to be worth keeping an eye on as we close in on the end of this race. And wow, Cameron Ridge after the big wreck, he'll end up 33rd on this restart with a bunch of damage. Re-racking it, it's Holtzer, Burrell, Indelicato, Enerson, Lytle, Heater. 10 laps to go when we hit the line.
Green flag in the air, and Holtzer gets a great jump out front.
Oh, they're wrecking Garen Turner. We're still green. We're still green. Can Burrell hunt down James Holtzer? Very disappointing for Garen Turner. He'd been in the top 10 all day. Never mind now. It's all Ethan Burrell and James Holtzer, maybe Nick Indelicato. Tate Lytle's back into the top 5. Burrell's bringing us all the big battles on the racetrack.
Burrell just got loose out of 2.
Darling trying not to wreck back there, going down the back straightaway. Peter in the wall, Enerson in the wall, 3 wide out of 4. Kwame Scott's shooting through. 3 wide again on the front straightaway. Enerson really got out of shape there in 3 and 4. All this is behind Holtzer, Burrell, and Indelicato. 3-horse race. Holtzer's really running close to that wall. Delicato do? If Burrell can't get to Holtzer, and Delicato's got to make his move so he can have a chance at the 17. They're trying to wreck down the back straightaway right here. This pack is really, really tight. 6 laps to go. 3 wide off turn 4. Oh, they're wrecking now. There it is. Big hit. I don't know who the white car is. Jack Ely. Johnny Thomas involved in that one. And they will re-rack him for a green-white checkered, I'm sure. And that should spell good news for Holtzer. We had mentioned Jack Ely all race long. He gets caught up in this big mess. 3 wide off the corner. Sherman bobbles. Eli sent into the wall. Cress around again. Chris Worrell nowhere to go. Johnny Thomas nowhere to go. And another wild ride on the front straightaway after we had Damian Leinecker flip over in the first 5 laps of the race. Johnny Thomas ended up back in the pack there, and after that staying out on pit road, and winds up wadded up in this big mess on the front straightaway. Oh, missed that one the first time through. Cameron Rich clobbered Brad Kress. I'm thinking that one might be a penalty for Dom's pick, or for Carlos's pick, not Dom's pick. Tough break there for Cameron Rich after running and leading for a number of laps in this race. He'll wind up well down the order and possibly facing action from the stewards. All this attrition. Hank Steinmiller just finally got back in the lead lap. Pulsar Vincent Isabella is now the only car 1 lap down. So you never know, guys. Another caution. Vol Vincent could be back on the lead lap, picking up some more spots.
All right, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll have your green-white checkered finish here for this one.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Coming to green, 2 laps to go in the NASCAR podcast. Charigatin 135, Holtzer over Burrell and Delicato, Lytle, Campbell, and Heater, the first 3 rows. 2 laps to decide this one, green, white, checkered. Pace car is off. And Holtzer stacks him up a little bit before going. I don't know that he got as good of a jump as before. And there will be a big crash. Brandon Key involved. No, not a big crash. One car. Again. Oh my goodness. No, 2 cars. But I really am surprised with the lack of big wrecks that we have managed to have. The biggest wreck we had was on before lap 1. In this, so far it's been a 2 to 3 to 4 car incident just about every time. Brandon Key just, man, I don't know what they did with the Apex Sim racing cars. Brandon Key, Damian Leininger, those guys need to do something different with their gear ratios, because they got the gears just shooting them to the right down the straightaways. It's definitely, as Carlos would say, too much beans on the restart. You got to be very, very careful jumping into the throttle with these high horsepower COT cars. The 54 was... Brad Fulham in the 54 was kind of an innocent bystander on that one. We haven't mentioned him all day long. I want to throw to him one time here while we have an opportunity. He's 23rd, but had kind of been involved in some other stuff, and we never got a chance to say his name. And yeah, he had nowhere to go in that one. Quickly looking through the running order, just trying to hit on some guys that we haven't really talked about all that much today. Kwame Scott is up to 7th. So that's an impressive run for him. We haven't mentioned Jared Darling much at all. He is now 10th in the 1 car. Dylan Thomas has rebounded to 11th from a bad pit stop. Josh Clark is up to 12th. I know we haven't said his name today. The Pro Edge teammate of Ethan Burrell and Tate Lytle. Clark is running really strong, honestly. Joe Francis up in 13th. We saw Austin Beers get into Jeff Green. He's up to 14th now. Mark Whitley's rebounded to 16th, rather, behind Scott Crump. Wyatt Nadel is 20th. I know we haven't said his name today in the 84 car. Pretty sure that's it. Just about everyone else has been involved in a wreck and therefore been given a shout on the broadcast. By the way, our pole sitter Vincent Isabella did finally get back on the lead lap. Jack Eli and Brandon Key have both retired their cars from the race after these last 2 incidents. So James Holtzer will try to take home the victory once again on another green-white checkered. I don't think he got a very good start at all. He tried to bottle him up a little bit, but it just allowed Ethan Burrell to be a lot closer entering turn 1. I think given time to reflect, I think Holtzer may try to jump early again. That seems to be the best way to guarantee yourself a fairly big lead entering turn 1 here. One to green, they line them up double file, and we'll re-rack. James Holtzer, Ethan Burrell, Nick Indelicato, Tate Lytle, James Heater, Gerald Campbell, the top 6. Then it'll be Kwame Scott, Jared Darling, R.C. Anderson, Matthew Bayuk, the top 10. Anderson and Bayuk have both been involved in several pretty heavy wrecks. Both have rebounded to those places. But we'll decide them all right here, maybe, if we don't get another caution. Pace car is in. Holtzer goes, Burrell with him. Ethan Burrell's got a really good shot to take the lead right here. They are side by side for the lead down the back straightaway at Rockingham. Burrell's going to drive it off. They're side by side to the line. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Delicato looking on. Holtzer's in that preferred groove. Delicato in the wall. It's a 2-horse race.
Holtzer got a slight advantage down the backstretch, almost a full car as they enter 3 and 4.
Here they come. Holtzer, Burrell, side by side off turn 4. It's going to be James. Holtzer hits the wall. Burrell challenging back home. I have no idea. It's going to be Holtzer by .003. Holtzer overdrives the exit of 4 and hits the wall in a photo finish to the line over Burrell. I wasn't expecting it at all. And Holtzer misses turn 4 and gives Burrell a last gasp.
I would say maybe a foot, maybe 2 feet farther, Burrell wins that race.
Oh my goodness. What a great finish that was. Those guys ran clean, and Ethan Burrell could have wadded Holtzer up into the fence. Never did. Went as hard as he possibly could for that finish, and so did Holtzer, and made the best car come out on top. What an awesome finish for the ERSCA series in race number 2. We've had 2 great races. We're going to definitely need to get these guys up here to tell us about that finish. And Delicato does come home 3rd, Lytle 4th, Heater 5th. In terms of points, that's going to mean, I believe, Delicato and Lytle will be 1-2 in the points. So those guys were top 5 last week at Daytona as well. Kwame Scott with an incredible rebound drive to get up to 6th. And Jared Darling drove from 37th to 7th on the grid today. So a great performance from those guys. Bayuk into the top 10. Gerald Campbell falls to 10th on that late restart, but does get the top 10 finish. Mark Whitley drives all the way back to 12th after pounding the wall at one point. The rest of the top 18 is there. Man, I thought Nick Massey would come back through the field like Kwame Scott did, but he just never got to it. Crump with that damage fell to 21st. Jared Rexing was up front all day. He ends up 20th. Cameron Rich up front all day, ends up 27th. Pole sitter Vincent Isabella does come back to get a top 30 after wadding it up on the back straightaway there. Johnny Thomas 33rd with that big damage. Leininger crashing before the race even starts and finishes 36th. And then the rest of these guys were all retired a while back. So we've got Holtzer, we need Indelicato, and we need Ethan Burrell. Why don't we go third to first? Let's go third to first. Let's grab a Nick Indelicato. Nick Indelicato. It's David up in the booth.
Gotcha.
Nick, is there anything maybe you could have done there trying to get back to those guys, or?
Man, I mean, track position was so key in this race. It was a ton of fun. I actually, I used to hate this track, but for some reason I'm somewhat decent at it. At the end there, I mean, I knew it was going to be a hell of a battle. They were side by side. I don't want to make it 3. I mean, I'm not going to wreck everybody there. If I didn't hit the wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2, I think I might have had a shot maybe. It would have been a little bit differently going into 3 and 4, but the only way I could have won the race really is if I gave the bumper to the 37 and if he washed up into the 17. That was about it, but I'm not going to make a dirty move like that. I respect both of those guys up front. Actually, the top 5, we all raced amazing that whole race, and I had a ton of fun. So I wasn't going to do that. Overall, I mean, I'll take a 3rd place.
Yeah, and it seemed like, you were one of the cars that tended to save your tires a little bit more throughout the race. Was that a intentional strategy, or did you just seem to really get the way the car drove a little better than the other guys around you, did it seem like?
Personally, I mean, this track, I feel like I know how to drive it more than a lot of other people do, if that makes sense. I was on the yellow line a lot more than everybody else. Obviously, the top lane was faster in the end there. But the bottom lane is where you could save your tires, and the bottom lane is where I was the whole race. It was an intentional strategy. Every track I go to, I try to save tires, play the long game. It didn't work out. We didn't have a very long run. But I know, if we kept going longer on the runs, I feel like I had a great shot to win. And I was definitely one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest.
All right, Nick, you got anybody to thank before we send you off here?
Yeah, no, I'd love to thank my great team, Shift Esports. We've done a lot in the department of marketing, and Seth Rawls, the owner, along with Matthew Bayuk, they both run this series. They've done a great job. We brought on the Mohawk Foundation, so you can go check them out, go donate. They're a great cause. That's why you see all the pink on our cars, so you can tell our cars apart from everybody else. They're a great cause, the Mohawk Foundation. You can go check out our Twitter, Shift Esports, and then check out SR Designs. If you want a paint scheme for your car, SR Design is the way to go. I mean, he makes amazing paints, as you can see on the track every week. Also, shout out to you guys for the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, and congrats on, I believe, the points lead. I'm pretty sure you're going to have it, so good luck the rest of the way, but definitely a good start for you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a great night.
That is Nick and Delicato, everybody. Now we'll grab the second place finisher, Ethan Burrell. And Ethan, it's David up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, buddy.
Ethan, I'm pretty sure you were involved in 2 finishes tonight that had a grand total separation of like less than 1/10 of a second.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. 4 1,000ths over Fody about a half hour before green for this race, and then, boy, that's instant karma right there. Got it done right back to me. Oh, man, it was awesome, but gosh, what a way to lose it.
Ethan, I'm pretty sure that's about as hard as I've seen you drive a car there in that one right before the first green, white, checkered, where you got the lead and kind of drove away from those guys. I am just curious if I was right on that, because you were really running hard to grab the lead from Cameron Rich, and then maybe talk about that move you did put on Cameron, because that was a whale of a move.
Yeah, I got cleared out to second there, and I found something up in that high side, not just rolling it kind of how everybody else was, but I found something where I could dive it in there really hard and kind of just park it and then just turn it down, and I mean, I was full bore on the gas with how squirrely this car is, but I mean, I was just getting huge runs out of 4, and he pinched off a couple of them, and then I kind of tried to look low, but yeah, that one corner, I just floored that thing and was driving it sideways and got up next to him, and he had to give me the room that time, but yeah, I mean, that I felt so good, and I was so bummed that that last pit stop we made, I lost the lead. I really felt like that was kind of the deciding moment, because man, I was really, really good firing off on those short runs.
Yeah, do you think there was maybe anything else you could have done there, in those green, white checkers to get the lead back from Holtzer?
I mean, yeah. Maybe morally, I don't think there's anything really else I could have done. But I mean, sure, I could have sent it in there and tried to hit him or something, but it definitely crossed my mind coming out of 4 to the finish, and so I ran him up close, and then he ended up getting a piece of the wall anyway, and yeah, it was, I don't know, it was really loose going down the front straightaway, and I got a little bit loose coming to the finish. I don't know, I mean, when you get an interval that close, I mean, you could point to anything that could have gone different, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was awesome, and James was well deserving of that win, and sucks for Cam, man. He was stout too, but hey, we'll take it. I mean, either way, second place is not bad, and leave it up to the second place guy to finish second by 3 1,000ths.
All right, well, Ethan, you got any shout-outs for us before we send you off?
Yeah, my buddy Austin sponsoring the car. The scheme's modeled after his RC car he drove. And my grandma for watching, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Johnny and Hanshaw for all the hard work they put in, a Tate too, and just all the guys at Pro Edge Racing for running with me every week and having a good old time.
All right, thanks, Ethan. Well, congrats on the second place finish and the win earlier, even though both of them was pretty close. So congratulations, buddy.
Yep, thanks, man. See you next time.
That is Ethan Burrell, the second place finisher, and now we'll bring up race winner James Holtzer. James, you got me, buddy.
I gotcha.
James with the win, man. That was pretty close coming to the line. Tell us about that last couple of laps.
Yeah, I really couldn't have made it any closer. I wasn't too particularly good on the short run. I was just, I don't know, I just didn't have the confidence to push hard at the beginning of the run. But once we got about 15, 20 laps on us, we were really, really strong. And caught a mistake there coming out of 4 on the last lap and just barely clipped the wall, but kept just enough momentum rolling. Couldn't have really made it any closer there with the 37 coming to the line.
Yeah, James, talk about pit road. I know early in the race you fell back on pit road and lost a bunch of spots, and then it seemed like you won the race off pit road every time. Did you change something there where you were just winning the race off pit road every time? Because Ethan told us right before that was the deciding factor, was that pit stop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely was for me. I needed control there at the end, knowing the aggression was going to ramp up and assuming there was going to be some cautions coming out there. But no, the one time we just slid through our pit blocks and some people took 2 tires and front row stayed out. So it really cycled us back, I think, till about 11th or so, sliding through the blocks. But was just trying to stay focused on not sliding through the blocks and not trying to get that little bit more and being smooth on the tires coming out of the box as well. And that, like you said, that last stop there was a huge dividend to our win, just being able to have the control there.
Yeah, and with 2 good races under your belt where you were pretty good at Daytona too, even though maybe the result didn't match, do you think maybe going forward you're going to be able to make a run at the championship?
We hope so. Daytona we were really strong at, and then I made a mistake there. I really pinched a 51 hard, and I nailed the outside wall. I had about 4 minutes of damage, so it's a miracle we were even back up in that race. But yeah, I think we can keep some momentum going. Don't have a lot of experience in these cars, but just love the way they drive and the throttle management and everything else. So it's going to be kind of learning on the fly kind of deal. I never ran these cars here for sure, and Rockingham probably isn't my best track, but was just able to figure out the long run speed, and being an open driver here for these first 5 races could be crucial to not make a mistake in qualifying. Just make sure we make the main race, and that way we can get points and just kind of go from there.
Well, James, after your win, any shout outs you want to give here?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank you guys in the booth for awesome broadcast both races. I try to watch as much as I can in the first race, even though I'm still at work, but you guys do a great job up in the booth there. Just got to thank everybody that puts this on week in and week out. It's a great league. Not many COT leagues out there. This might be I'd probably say this is the biggest one, and some big names in here. So it's really an honor just to be able to win this race here tonight and mark ourselves on the ERSCA winning list. Just got to thank everybody on the car from JP Designs, who does my paint scheme starting at just $5. Go check them out on Facebook. And I got to thank Laurel Auto Group for also being on the car as well.
All right. Well, congratulations, James. You're going in, as one of those top points guys and maybe the guy to beat next week. So congratulations and keep up the good work.
Thanks, guys. We'll do our best. Appreciate it.
That is race winner James Holtzer. And with that, that's all our interviews. And that was an incredible race, man. That was an awesome race. I had a blast.
It turned out to be a really good one. Couple cautions, not nearly anything to take away from the action we saw tonight. And honestly, I think it was more amazing those cautions that we did have. David, you mentioned it almost every time that somehow it didn't turn into a massive pileup. It would be 2, 3, maybe 4 car racks. But other than that, I mean, back and forth all night long. I think the dominant car that was strong all day ended up taking the win home tonight. But Ethan Burrell put in one heck of a charge there at the end to try to steal this one away.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of guys, cycle forward to the lead and then end up, kind of falling back for various reasons. We saw Cam Rich, Vincent Isabella, Jared Rexing all up there at the front challenging, and then it was kind of the time of Holtzer and Burrell at the end with Holtzer coming out on top in a photo finish. I mean, great racing all day long. I am thoroughly impressed with this car 2 races in. Johnny Thomas has done just an incredible job of getting this thing drivable and together. We definitely saw mistakes today, but I don't think it was taking away from the action at all. And these guys really got to show off what they can do. So I'm really excited for the next couple of weeks for this thing, and ultimately the championship run. We'll try to keep you guys up to date on the points as they go throughout the races. But I think that's everything for now. And I will note that nobody got a win on the pick today. We were looking maybe like it a little bit, and Dom comes out on top with the best pick. But with all that, I'm David Westergreen. For Dom Santina, Carlos Acosta, 3Wide TV, Belly Up Sports TV, ERSCA Racing, and Johnny Thomas. So long, everybody. Good night. We'll see you next week.